Welcome back, second grade students. Today's story is going to be from Knowledge 3, Lesson 6, called Athens and the Olive Tree. Before we begin our story, we're going to go over our vocabulary words. Our first vocabulary word for today is the word ideal. Repeat after me. Ideal. Ideal means perfect. Our next vocabulary word is the word ignite. Say ignite. Ignite means to set fire to something or to catch fire. Our last vocabulary word is the word overjoyed. Say overjoyed. Overjoyed means flowing with joy or happiness. Far from the city-state of Sparta, another group of Greeks had found the ideal place to build yet another new city-state. That high hill will be the perfect place to build a city around, these Greeks said. There is also a good harbor for boats just a short distance away. Almost all Greek cities were built around high hills. That way, if an enemy tried to attack the lower areas of the city, the people would climb up and gather on the high hill behind the city walls, where it would be harder for the enemy to reach them. Now that this group of Greeks had found just the place they were looking for, they needed a name for their city. One of the Greek stories tells us that while the Greeks were trying to decide on a name for their new city, an amazing thing happened. Two of the gods appeared to the people and spoke to them. The first appearance came when the Greeks were gathered at a nearby harbor. The huge, muscular figure of Poseidon rose up from the sea. All around him, dolphins leaped and played in the waves, and seabirds circled in the air around his towering head and shoulders that seemed to almost reach the clouds. "Hear me, little mortals," Poseidon boomed. Even those farthest from the shore could hear his loud voice. "You would be wise to honor me above all gods and goddesses, for as Lord of the Sea I can bring you good luck in your fishing." He lifted his vast hands and said, "Look." Hundreds of fish leaped from the waves and sank back again. Lowering his hands, Poseidon, who was god of the seas and of all that crosses the seas, including the ships, continued, "I can also bless the safety of your fishermen while they ride upon my waves, and see to it that the ships in which your merchants trade move swiftly and smoothly to distant shores and make it back home again. I, Poseidon, will do all these things for you and more, if you honor me." The people were overjoyed to hear his words, and turning to one another, they said, "How wonderful! We shall tell Poseidon that we will pray to him above all other gods." But according to the story, before they could say this to the god of the sea, another voice called out to them, "Hear me, O people, for I too offer you a gift and a blessing." This time it was a female voice they heard, speaking in calm, clear, intelligent tones. All the people turned in the direction of the new voice they saw before him, Athena, the goddess of wisdom and of war. Athena told the people, "The gift I offer you is this." She too lifted a hand, but instead of anything as dramatic as hundreds of fish leaping up, all that appeared on the ground was one single graceful tree. It grew high and wide on the very spot where a moment before the ground had been empty. "This is an olive tree," Athena said. The people did not want to be rude to the goddess, but they whispered to one another, "She offers us one tree? It's very pretty to look at, but it's nothing compared to Poseidon's blessings." Hearing all, Athena smiled and said, "Let me tell you all about this tree. One day soon, all of these lands around you, even the rocking hills beyond that are hard to farm, will be covered with groves and groves of these olive trees. From these trees will come the wealth of your city, for you will eat the fruit you pick from these trees and never go hungry. The oil you squeeze from the fruit will be so delicious that its flavor will improve anything you cook with it. Fill a lamp with the olive oil, set a dry rope wick in it, and ignite it, and you will have light in the darkest hour of the night. Mix other sweet-smelling herbs into the oil and rub it into your skin, and you will be healthier and cleaner and smell sweeter. And because the oil will stay fresh in jugs and bottles for a long time, you can ship it to other lands far and near, for many other people will want to have these blessings of the olive themselves. The tree itself will be a blessing too, for in its shade you will find shelter from the heat of the summer sun and from the cold rains of winter. The wood of this tree will be fine for carving, so you'll never lack for bowls, plates, or furniture. The tree will live for hundreds of years, and if a fire burns it down, it will grow again from the stump that's left behind. Athena continued, "And I tell you this as the goddess of war. The olive branch will become the symbol of peace. Pray to me when you are in danger, and I will protect you." Athena gestured to the olive tree and said, "Here then is food, fortune, and protection that will be the great blessing of your people forever, if you choose to honor me." The people thought about what Poseidon and Athena had offered and came to a decision. They told the god of the sea, "Great Poseidon, you have offered us wonderful things. We will always offer prayers to you and be grateful to you for the riches of the sea, however much you choose to share them from your great and generous heart. But we be the people of Athena and her olive tree." To Athena the people said, "To show our devotion or loyalty to you, we will name our new city Athens, in honor of you and your blessing." And that, the story tells us, is how the Greeks came to call their city Athens.